Hello there. So I'm back with an update on the fighting that is taking place in East Congo in the Kivu region. And as you know, the South African Development Community, the SADC, deployed more than 1,000 troops to east of Congo, particularly in Goma, to help the Congolese government fight these rebels called M23 that are backed by Rwanda and Uganda. And they have been winning the battle there. The SADC have been winning. And last week, we saw the bombing of this building where it was a warehouse, where they used to keep mortars, they used to keep guns, they used to keep all manner of military equipment. The same warehouse was adjacent to a building which was their headquarters in the town of Kichanga. And in this building, that's where the top commanders of the M23, alongside close to 50 other M23 soldiers, were bombed and killed or hurt by the drones that are being flown by FRDC with the guidance of these South African Development Community troops from Angola, troops from Malawi, and countries like Tanzania and Botswana. So we saw that, and we saw one of the commander that was killed is a colonel, and he was killed, and apparently he's called the money man. They call him the network because he was the one connecting the M23 rebels to basically finances and funds. He was the one who was able to talk to Paul Kagame and Museveni to give them the finances and these weapons. They also get financing from Tutsi diaspora groups. The FBI, uncovered that. This Tutsi diaspora. Now, what happens because of the fighting that has been taking place between this Tutsi rebel group M23 and the other one in the south called Twirwaneho? They've created some refugees in Uganda and Rwanda and Kenya. And these Tutsi refugees who say that they came from Congo, they get relocated to third countries like Canada, the United States, and Australia, and even Norway. And once they get there, after 5 years of working, they put the dollars together and send it back to this group. So the man was the connecting link between M23 and these Tutsis who live in those countries was killed. And that's why they were almost grieving all over the place. They were not happy, including on social media. Now back to the story. The other remaining leaders, that is the political leader Bertrand Bisimwa, and the other leader of M23, Sultan Makenga, was seen fleeing to Uganda. There are credible information to prove that these two were seen in a convoy of about eight Land Cruiser vehicles, fleeing through the Ugandan border of Bunagana, because they fear that if they continue staying in Congo, the drones are going to find them because of using the satellite phone, because the leaders use satellite phones. And I think these Congolese troops are able to know and pinpoint the location of a satellite phone by the help of the South Africans who have satellites. And once they get this satellite phone location, the next morning they come with drones and bomb them. That's how they got the other two. So these others ran to Uganda because they fear using satellite phones, and they also fear using the normal GSM network. So this is the town of Mweso, where today in the morning there was heavy fighting. I'm trying to show you through this Google map. So the town of Mweso, if you look closely, is some kilometers north of where they were. The bombing was somewhere in Kichanga here. So as you can see, if I use the Google's tools to measure the distance between this is 15 kilometers. So 15 kilometers north of Kichanga is where you find Mweso. So the M23, after that bombing, right, after the bombing and the loss of their leaders, they moved north and captured another town. They left Kichanga. So they left Kichanga, they went to that town north of Kichanga called Mweso. And in Mweso, there are these militia called Wazalendo, the local youths with guns that are there to defend their homes. So they started engaging them. And these rebel, or rather local militia, the Wazalendo, the patriots, young people, are very lethal and effective because they don't have They don't have vehicles, they don't have stores that they keep their ammunition. It's just young guys with guns. So they appear and disappear. They hit and move. They hit and move. As for the M23, they have this stockpile of mortars, stockpile of anti-aircraft guns, stockpile of ammunition, stockpile of, field medicine, and a lot of uniforms that they have gotten from Rwanda and Uganda. So they have to store it somewhere, and they are very exposed because they also use vehicles. They move around in these Land Cruisers, Toyota Land Cruisers. So that's how they're able to be hit, because there was Arendo young guys. They can move on foot in the bush, in the villages, and they hit, then they disappear. And in frustration, you have to listen to this. In frustration, the M23 have been unable to even hurt or even have an impact on the Wazalendo. So in frustration, they have been firing mortars. Mortars are those things that they fire in the sky and they come down on someone and explode. So they've been firing blindly. They've been firing mortars on people's homesteads. And today, as I'm making this video, yesterday they killed 6 children and 11 adults in their homes at night. As you can see, most homes in Mweso are made of wood, because Mweso is closer to a forest, and it is easy to construct a house using wood. So they hit some of these buildings, as you can see in the photos here. As you can see from this photo, most buildings in Mweso are constructed using wood, and they fired these mortars. As you can see, these are the homes in Mweso. For example, this is an old photo of one of the buildings in Mweso. It's made of wood. So they fire the mortars and it comes down on such a building and brings it down. So M23 have committed crimes in Mweso out of frustration, because they are not able to fight real soldiers, so they just kill innocent civilians. And that's why we keep saying M23 are terrorists. And it means that if the pressure continues, they are going to kill more people, and after that they are going to go to Bambo, and after Bambo they go to Kiwanja in Ruchuru, or they are on the way to Uganda. They follow this highway. So definitely they are going to go to Bambo here. They have a base in Bambo, and after Bambo they are going to move to Ruchuru. They are going to move to Ruchuru, and then from there, if the Congolese army gets close, they just run back to Uganda like rats or like cockroaches. You remember when you go to the kitchen, you turn on the light, the cockroach that were there, they disappear. They go under the cupboard, they go under the fridge, under the freezer. That's how these guys behave, and I think they used to have that nickname some time back. They pretend they fight while running away, because now they are moving towards Uganda, and then after that they are going to Uganda. Then it's going to be peaceful, and after some few years they are going to be unleashed again from Uganda. So the problem that is there in east of Congo is not the M23. It is not this group that Paul Kagame keeps talking about, the FDLR. It is the two countries that are neighboring Congo, that is Uganda and Rwanda. Because if these rebels, after committing crimes in Mweso, after committing crimes in Congo, if they cross the border to Uganda, Uganda has the responsibility. International law has to apply. So Uganda has the responsibility to arrest them and hand them back to Congo, because they've committed crimes. But what does Uganda do? It gives them mansions where they keep their families. It gives them new clothes to go and visit their wives and run their businesses in Kampala. The same thing applies to Rwanda. Once they cross to Rwanda, they are promoted in the Rwandan army. They get another rank. If they were major, they go to the next rank of Akano, and so on. So, because these two countries are the ones that are sending these guys into this region to create chaos and pretend that they are rebels. There is nothing like M23 rebels. These are Rwandan and Ugandan soldiers that are there to create chaos and trying to extend their territories into Congo, where there are minerals and steal those minerals. And that, I think that is what is happening today.